Hey everyone, this is Daniella Breen, and today I want to talk to you about the subject authority. And of course, when we're talking about authority, it's in regards to the sacred truth of all that is. So, everything from creation, your life, the universe, and beyond. So when we talk about authority, we're talking about conscious presence with developing skills or with skills in a particular aspect of existence. There are many different places where you can develop authority, and authority comes from increasing alignment with the ultimate sacred truth of you, with your soul consciousness, with skill that you've developed through your soul history. It's a coming into the truth of yourself. And as you come into the truth of yourself, you develop more and more authority in areas that you have skill in, areas that align with who you are as a being at a soul level and beyond. So we're not talking about doing courses and ticking boxes. We're not talking about getting a job and building your skill in all those jobs, typing skills or computer skills or whatever it is. We're not talking about that. We're talking about authority within and beyond the structures of the universe and all that is. You have that available to you, or you will have. You'll find it developing as you align more and more with the sacred truth of yourself. One area where you will be, or probably already are, developing your authority is within you, within your own energy system, within your own life, within your own beingness, and the alignment of the sacred truth of you. And this is key. This is the first and most important place that you develop authority, is in you. Personal honesty, personal authority, personal skill, managing your energy system, clearing it, aligning it, balancing it, developing your consciousness in how you may still be tangled in the lower system, how you are becoming untangled, the tools that you use, the skills that you develop, hearing the voice of the sacred truth of you, receiving guidance from your soul, working with spirit guides, ascended masters, in developing your own abilities, and learning to define what is you and what isn't you in your own behavior. What is distortion in your own behavior? What is sacred truth? What is coming from sacred consciousness? What is coming from vulnerabilities, weaknesses, self-dishonesty? Really learning to observe that, assuming that you have it, because even the most advanced people in the ascension movement have self-dishonesty, have distorted behavior, make choices based on wounded ego rather than the sacred truth. Everybody does it. So learning to know yourself, learning to observe your behavior, learning to observe your thinking and your processes prior to making choices in action. That's developing authority. Ultimate authority is sovereignty. So when you get to the point where you are no longer unsafe, where you no longer have to protect yourself, where you no longer have to call on the angelic realm to protect your system, to protect you, to keep you safe. That's sovereignty. That's absolute. It's a very different thing from protecting yourself and shielding yourself and defending yourself and so on. They're two different things. It doesn't mean that you're not developing some level of authority, but it's not the ultimate authority. The other major area where you develop authority is in your purpose, in your relationship with the world. And so we're talking about skill development, but skill development from the sacred truth of you. It's the difference between, say, doing level 1, level 2, level 3 Reiki mastery, for example, and working in the energy system yourself and unraveling and unbinding and knowing how to repair and heal energy systems. The Reiki training is wonderful. I'm a Reiki master myself. I have been since the late 90s. But that's learning what people teach you. It's a different thing. It adds to and contributes to your consciousness, but the real alignment is within you. Alignment to the sacred truth of you. Alignment to your soul history, to your soul consciousness that has developed skills in energy work. And you will notice that, I'm using energy systems as an example because I'm a technician, so my language is fairly established in the subject. You will notice that when you're following your interest in a particular area, say it's energy work, you're following your interest and you're reading books and you're doing courses, whatever it is you're doing, you'll notice that you could read maybe half a sentence in a book that you're reading about the subject, and it will trigger streams of consciousness in you, and you'll go off and doors will open and you'll recognize so much, and you'll start to do so much, understand a whole lot more. It will just open up all of this information. The reason it does that is because it's coming from what you already know at a soul level, in your soul history. That means you're operating increasingly at that soul level, the oversoul. You're increasingly holding presence at that level. And you're able to access more and more of your consciousness at that level. And that's powerful. That's really important to understand, because that's you opening up to authority. It's the same as when you're doing energy work on someone, you're participating in a healing circle or whatever it is, and you're doing energy work on someone and you know what's going on, or you know what to do, and you're following something or knowledge or awareness that hasn't come from training. It hasn't come from other people, books or whatever. It's comes from within. It comes from your consciousness. When that happens and you really start to expand in that level, when you're developing your authority quite deeply in a subject, what can happen is, if you are developing your authority and your consciousness in working with the spirit world, in working with ascended masters and the angelic realm and so on, if you are doing that, then what happens is increasingly you attract higher and higher levels of consciousness in those beings in your specific areas of interest. And so as you are building your skill, your authority, you start attracting beings that can really work with you and train you and bring you into alignment with very high level work. So you start getting higher positions. As a human being, we have a certain level of authority that the spirit world doesn't. We have a level of authority within the human race. We have a level of authority about what goes on in the world and what doesn't. And so beings are waiting for people to hit a certain level of authority so that they can offer their services and work hand in hand in partnership with you. So they will train you in how they work, in how you can work. They work in alignment with the sacred truth of you, and you work together to do specific work with the world. It's work that you want to do, work that is in alignment with your soul purpose, your soul expression, the sacred truth of you. But because they have skill and authority that you don't, and you have skill and authority that they don't, the two of you can work together, and that might be you with an entire team or teams of consciousness, can work together to bring about positive change. So this is authority. Authority is a very exciting subject, and it's a wonderful thing to have consciousness about in your life. If you aren't aware of it already, you can start opening up your consciousness and working with your team of beings, your spirit support, to develop your consciousness in how you have authority, or how you are developing or going to have authority, directions, the way you're moving in, and so on. All of this adds to your ascension journey and your alignment with the ultimate sacred truth of you. So that's why it's coming up today. I hope this has opened doors for you, and I hope you have a beautiful day. Goodbye.